Dímelo, mi gente, what up? It's your boy Gus from Gus Villa Jewelry. We apologize if there is an echo in this room. We apologize if the regular setting isn't normally what we do. This is a very impromptu content style that we are about to do right now. I came all the way up to New Jersey to buy some diamonds, but at the same time, actually we went out to the diamond district, but at the same time, I wanted to introduce you guys to some really two good friends that are also in the jewelry space. And so we're going to talk to them right now. We're going to ask them a couple questions. They're going to give you guys perspective from things that normally you guys don't hear from this channel, which of course is from a jeweler's perspective. That's not me, and a jewelry content creator. So without further ado, here are my guests. Number one, it is Sergeant Diggs. She is an extraordinary jeweler from down. Are you from NYC?
No, I'm actually from New Orleans.
From New Orleans, but she's up here. She's an extraordinary diamond setter. She is an animal making just about anything from creation. At this point, you are familiar with, she's the CEO of Gumbo Grills. Introducing Erica Diggs. That's we'll put it in a better clap than that. Yeah. And number two, my co-host now for the second time that I am here.
Cut the check.
You guys already know who he is. It is my boy. It is the biggest in the game. He is a guy, if you typed in Cuban link or jewelry review, the number one on everyone's SEO. You can't escape the guy. He's like your little brother. He's like a cat that you fed one time and keeps coming back. It's Angel, a.k.a. Cubano! What's up, guys?
Just fucking twerk. Oh, hey, greetings and salutations, everyone. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so happy that I'm going to get a check for being here. It's amazing. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm more excited that Queen Diggs is here, because they just don't know.
Let's go.
They just don't.
They literally don't know.
They don't know.
All right, so
I just don't. You know what it is? I'm going to be honest with you.
Right.
I kind of want to keep it on the low.
Yeah.
I just don't want to bring the secret out, because... What is it? What is it? What's the when you keep the stash in the pocket? What's the phrase called?
Keep it stash.
Gatekeeping.
Gatekeeping. I want to gatekeep Diggs, bro.
But here's the thing. So, Diggs, can I be full disclosure? So check this out. When I met you, I think I met you because you had a reel or something. This would have been already like, what, 4 or 5 years ago? Maybe? Probably longer?
I think it was longer.
Probably longer than that? Yeah. And I remember we started following each other because, like, you had this poppin' ass piece. I don't even remember what it was. Mm-hmm. And I was like, damn, who the fuck is this? You know, like other jewelers that are killing the game. And then I remember sitting there and being like, yo, this is dope. And then I think we started, like, DMing each other. Like, yo, this just fire. What do we do with this? And then we spoke on the phone. And then me and him became really cool. And then I literally, every time I told him, I was like, bro, you gotta meet my homegirl Diggs, dog. Like, she's crazy personality, fantastic jeweler. So this 4 walls right here is something that has quite literally been building for about 5 years. And this is the first time we're all in the same room.
Sure.
Yeah.
And we're all meeting each other. Well, I mean, I already know him, but like the first time you meet us in person outside of just social media. Yeah. And the main thing that me and Angel would always talk, I was like, bro, can you imagine her and I on a podcast?
Bro,
This shit would be fucking stupid.
We
would get canceled immediately.
We'd have multiple conversations like, bro, Diggs is built for this shit.
Built for this shit,
Built for this shit. That's all personality, all skill.
1,000%.
Bro, she's
1,000%.
just leaving it all on the fucking
1,000%. So I'm so happy that you're here.
Yeah,
I'm
for
so
sure.
happy that you're gonna get some cameras on you. And I want to start the podcast. So for the people that don't know, she's a diamond setter here and a jeweler in general, jewelry designer. So just without boring us with all the fucking details, give me a brief introduction of who you are, what you do.
Without 400 degrees.
Yeah, because you go
She's
in.
certified in everything from the nib to Jesus's wig.
I forgot that you were a gemologist too. I completely overshot that.
Yes,
Yeah.
and 3D designer.
And 3D
All
designer.
GIA certified.
Let's go.
You heard? Crazy thing is that I have all these certifications and I still wind up having to prove myself because people find it hard to believe. I used to get offended, but it's okay because I understand that it's just not something that you normally run into. A person with all of the skills that I have and the personality that I have. It just doesn't mix.
Do you think that, like, and I know that because it's like a very, very like male driven sport, like this is a man's sport.
Yes, it is.
Like, you just walk down 47th Street, you walk down the Jewelry District in Miami. I rarely see a woman on there, to be honest with you. Rarely. So do you think that, like, without playing the whole sexist card here, do you think that, like, a lot of it has to do, like, when people be like, she's a woman. What the fuck does she know about jewelry?
Absolutely. They see women as more so being in an administrative, supportive role. And I could do that, but I want all my money, so I'm not supporting you. I'm supporting myself.
Yeah.
And that's just basically
How'd you get into jewelry?
Okay, so I've always liked sparkly things, jewelries, accessories, makeup since high school. But I grew up in New Orleans, and there's really like, where do you go? So I wound up going to college for like a year, and then I joined the military. And then after the military, I'm trying to figure it out. And I started making handmade jewelry, and I was actually making a lot of money. So I decided to find a jewelry school. And this is like in 2010, 11. I was living in California, and I went to Studio Jewelers in New York. I found a school, moved back to New York, and I just kind of took off from there. It's just from my love of things that sparkle. That's how I started. And I've been in it ever since. It took a long time for it to really translate into mortgage money.
Yeah.
At first I really wasn't making much money, but I was also blessed. Like, I would say the first year was a struggle, but within that first year, some of the friends that I already was just fortunate to be associated with were like NFL players. And I went from one NFL player to another. And, you know, once they get their little trinkets, they're in the locker room like, yo, this is what I got. Where'd you get it? Then boom, 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 boom. It just spread.
But I think that, like, and maybe I'm completely wrong, but I feel like that kind of like disadvantage could ultimately become an advantage in a way. Because say, for instance, like before in the beginning, let's say you don't know, you're like, what does she know about jewelry? But let's say you do a bomb ass piece, dog, like a bomb ass piece. Now you got it. I think it's easier to talk to a woman and an attractive woman. Absolutely. You know what I mean? And now you use it as an asset. Like, oh my God, like, yo, she's a jeweler and she looks good. Boom. Right. You know what I mean? And it's almost easier to hit you up and be like, yo, what's up with this piece? You know?
Yeah. I was in some amazing spaces when I really didn't know shit. This was before I got certifications or anything. I was a reseller before I finished school. But being an attractive woman got me in those places. And I had men that were jealous of me. Like, how was she able to reach out and be around these people and share this type of energy with these people? And I can't. So I'm selling jewelry, but I'm also, you know, going to clubs. I'm hanging out, you know, doing little Snapchat videos and Instagram videos with the biggest, you know, athletes in the world and some of the biggest, you know, music artists in the world. And I just was blessed, you know, and I always kept it real. Everyone knew that I hadn't made it yet, but they didn't care because I was still bringing them the substance that they needed. I was renting a bedroom in the projects in Brooklyn. Like, yeah, I had the goddamn defensive player in the year pull up to the Louis Armstrong houses in Brooklyn and pick up his grill. It's crazy. He didn't care though. He did not care. He wanted his grill so bad that he was willing to come to Brooklyn and pick it up in the projects. I didn't care either. I have nothing to hide. I can't remember shit. I am a military veteran, so I have PTSD. So I kind of prefer not to lie because when confronted with a lie, I'm not going to remember.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like a fine line between that shit, bro, because like my boy who's a DJ, right? And he like, I can't even believe I'm going to put him out there like that, dog. But like in a way, he has colleagues that are DJ women as well. And some of them get DJ gigs just because they're women. Yeah. And they're like doing these big time clubs, whatever it is. And they're just doing that because they're women and like the promoter wants to like bang them out. Like, let's keep it a buck. That's what it's about. So it's like sometimes you get diminished because you are a woman. Yeah. And then when you do get to the top, they're like, oh, she's only there because she is a woman.
Right. So
isn't that crazy?
It is. It's a plus. But I get a lot of anger from men in the industry because I have that advantage. But I don't care.
But the shit is, you have that advantage, right? but the resume is crazy. So I think that it's mostly, obviously, the aesthetic factor that you're attractive and you can get into some doors that they potentially can't get into. But the fact that only takes 5%, right?
Yes.
Because your beauty can only take you so far.
Yes,
and
if you serving trash.
It's of 100%. So it's not just about attractive. It's charisma. It's being able to hold the conversation, being able to open those doors, and then you come into the business atmosphere that you have 90% more credentials than anybody else in the room who does the same shit that you do. Yep. So you're an attractive woman who's been able to bust through the door, and you have 90% of the credentials that they don't have, as most of them are middlemen or salesmen or third parties, and you're able to do everything under one roof.
Yeah. And not only that, look, at the end of the day, it don't matter if you're Carmen Electra, my guy, like if your piece don't come out fire, Papa, they ain't gonna call you back. I don't care if you literally look like Jenna Jameson, dog. Like, let's keep it a buck. That's what it's about, brother. And let's say Jenna Jameson. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, but like it's there's a lot of. This is going to sound so douchey, but like there's a lot of people that hit me up all the time. I'm sure they hit you up too. And you about like content creation, but they hit me up all the time. They're like, yo, Gus, I'm just starting off. Like, can you guys point me in the right direction? Yeah. Or like, do I do this? Or what do I do? Like, I'm trying to get into this space and like, I'm trying to get into YouTube and I'm trying to do that. And like, as much as I want to help them and as much as I want to guide them into the right direction, I realized very quickly though that like, no matter what I tell them, they're not going to do it. Number one. Yes. But number two, like, you have to kind of figure it out yourself in a way, for sure. You know what I'm saying? And like, I ask you this question strictly because I know that you're getting that question. Like, and I know a lot of women hit me up talking about, yo, like, how do I get in the jewelry industry? So you, as a woman who started this shit, now has a successful jewelry business, like, what do you tell someone if they're a woman trying to get into this space? Because it's crazy. You don't hear about that.
This is something that I had to learn as well. What you just said, no matter what you tell them, they're not going to do it. And even when they do it, if you give them one answer, then they're going to come back with 3 or 4 questions. So I will open the door up for brief advice, but at the same time, I was in my 30s when I started this journey, and here I am at 44, and I've gone to school every single year of my life with small children, going through a nasty split up in family court, and it was a sacrifice and a struggle. Every obstacle and hurdle that I came into, somehow I made my way out and I survived. But the heartaches, the headaches, and the struggles that I went through, I can't just give that away. So I get the most questions about 3D. And you know that I have kind of made my own avenue with the grills and doing them in 3D. So everyone that does grills, even the people that don't know how to do grills, what program do you use? Can you teach me how to do it? No, I cannot. I went to GIA and I learned how to do 3D. But I also went to another school called JIA. This is all investments that I did. These investments, I took time away from my children. I took time away from my boyfriend. I took time away from having fun and going out to the clubs to invest in my future and my knowledge. Then even after I graduated and I went to these 2 different schools learning how to do 3D, I invested in a tutor. So as I'm really honing my skills and specializing, I got a tutor to sit there and work with me over and over and over every day. This man charged me $60 an hour for Zoom tutoring. And I did that for maybe 4 months. This is money that I could have put into new shoes. This is money that I could have, went to the club and had fun with. But I put this money and this time into my future. So when people hit me up, and they do, that gatekeeping word, I've been called that in the DMs several times because I won't give the information up. And I can't. This doesn't even belong to me. This belongs to my children. They had to have Uber Eats and ramen noodles while mom was studying and going to school. I can't give you what we all invested in. So
that's the shit though. That's real food for thought, especially nowadays that it's the era and the time of free information that you can literally look up everything and anything, right? So that goes hand in hand with what you're saying. Like, you got to do your homework. Like, we all had to figure shit out to make, waves in our perspective spaces. Like, you can't just go to the source and be like, all right, give me all this info that you spent hundreds of hours, thousands of hours, tens of thousands of dollars, but let me get it for free.
Yeah.
Because I'm a supporter and I am a fan and I am a customer, so I feel entitled to get this information for free. While some of us sacrifice time with our families, our own time of social, tens of thousands of dollars in education, but yet you feel entitled to get this information for free.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, if I tell you what software I use, it doesn't matter. You're not going to want to do it. You're not going to know what to do with it. When I tell you what software I use, you're going to go and you're going to look for the software. You're going to try and pirate the software, and you're going to be absolutely lost. With what I specialize in, you're not going on YouTube. There's no tutorials, and it's so highly specialized that you can search the internet all day and all night, and you're not going to get answers. You have to invest in your future.
Yeah.
Formal education is the only way. So if I say, go get 3D, they're going to get 3D, and come, well, how do you do this in that program? And how do you do that? That's why I got me.
You open up the floodgates to, it's never just, how do I get started? This is the answer to the question. Because that question is going to be followed up by 30 other things because you didn't put the work in. So just like you said, you're going to tell them, oh, it's program Smith. Okay, I'm in program Smith. I paid $300 for this program. How do I get started? How does this? How do I adjust it? That just opened up a floodgate to 10,000 questions, which time is money.
Yeah.
Time is precious. You don't get that back.
And I'm giving you my knowledge. What are you giving me?
In return, I get it
Give
100%.
me something in return. Come rub my feet and maybe I'll change my mind.
Talk that shit and I want to see it. Not that I haven't flipped that shirt. If I've seen it, it's fine.
But I gotta get something out of it.
Yeah. No doubt. Yeah.
Break bread. Give me some money. Hire me as a tutor. I'm available.
Get that 60 plus an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that a lot, what's crazy, bro? Like, I remember, like, for a long period of time, I wasn't allowed in to the inner circles of jewelry. Initially, when I started this shit, like, people would just shake my hand. They knew who I was in the sense of, like, me being on Instagram, but it wasn't, like, anything serious. And I don't think it took more than maybe 2.5 years of dealing with the same people over and over and over. And then realizing that I was no longer like this bottom feeder, like, guy in the jewelry district of Miami, like, running around trying to, like, get a couple of deals. It wasn't until, like, they saw that I was even at their level, in the same level playing field as, like, oh, okay, cool, this guy is on YouTube. This guy's obviously selling a lot. Other people hear of, like, him buying and stuff like that. And then you realize that, like, once they let you into that door and you start sitting down with people who can give you, like, really good deals and, like, crazy pricing on stuff like this, and, like, until they see that work that you put in, like, you're kind of just, like, tossed to the side. And that's the part where, like, I understand that there are people that are going to hear this podcast or whatever and say, I hate gatekeepers. Like, you guys are, like, gatekeeping a lot of information, but, like, and not to toot my own horn, that's not what I'm saying, but there was a lot of hard work that you had to do to get into that level to where, like, they open that door and be like, all right, bro, let's sit down, dog. Look, this is what I actually get it for. This is the real price of shit. This is the real stuff. This is how much we really move. This is how much you have to move to get these kind of pricing, but this is it. And that door that I, like, took so long to walk into, I gatekeep it because it's what I worked so hard to get to. And, like, why would I just be like, yo, dog, can you hook me up with, like, your connection for, like, this? I want to make a tennis bracelet. Like, are you ridiculous, brother? Like, do you know what you're asking now?
What also goes with that is, and again, I'm the only non-jeweler outside perspective is, but got an experience and a nice Rolodex of contacts to realize that you can have all that information. These old heads is not going to let you in just because you know somebody.
Exactly.
It's
That
not gonna
part.
happen. Yo, I know Gus. I know Diggs. I know this. Cool. What does that do for me? Like,
Nothing.
who are you?
Yeah.
What are you doing in life? What? Who, huh?
These guys ain't even having
They're
conversation
not
with
gonna
regular
talk to you
cats.
like, all right, cool. What? Who is that? Like, I don't.
Look, bro, I bought all those diamonds. Full disclosure for the people who don't know, I came to New York Diamond District to buy a bunch of diamonds and stuff like that. I bought 150 carats, maybe 100, more than $100,000 worth of
Nice
inventory.
stuff.
Nice stuff. When I walked into this guy's, when I walked into this guy's office in the Diamond District, he wasn't out with a window saying, "Yo, I sell diamonds." Like, I had to go through the gates. I had to go up to his shady ass, level. You know what I'm talking about. Go through a bunch of other people that are selling a bunch of stuff. I opened the door. There was buzz in. There was not a window in there. And it was like this regular dude with a little lamp. And he's like, he's not going to give you any of that information, my brother. Like, there's no way. And it's not to gatekeep to make more money. It's not about that. It's like, if you go out there, you do all this work, you do all this shit, you think like, I'm just going to like, go, brother. Like, do this.
Realistically, you can't though.
You can't, because they won't even have the conversation with you.
You would have to be a full-blown mentor, hand in hand, walking in with somebody. I can't tell you, yo, go to Pablo the Diamond Setter because he's the best in the Diamond District. You think Pablo's gonna open the door? Who are you?
But
you know who? And okay, what are you doing?
And the moral of that is like, ultimately, if you want to do that, there's nothing that we're gatekeeping or that is anything is happening. If you want to go out there and you want to have 2 plaques on 2 different channels, if you want to go out there and have a bunch of run a successful grills company, plus be a diamond setter, plus be GIA, plus all this shit, do the fucking work, bro. That's all it is.
They're not willing to do the work.
I think some people are, but it's only 10% of them.
I'm gonna say it's less than that.
I agree with Diggs. I think we're in a different. I think times are different. I think everybody wants to be an instant something. Just add water, bloop, 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 and all of a sudden you're this.
Yeah.
I think everybody's so used to so much information being available so fast that they're automatically, I want it now and yesterday.
Yeah. When I told you, like, I decided for 2024 that it's going to be time for me, historically, I have been that person to mentor and coach people. But what I've noticed is the more that I pump energy into people, the more they take it and throw it. They shut it down. Going to GIA, I went to GIA for gemology, 7.5 months. Then I returned back and did JDT. Again, another 7 months, damn near a year each investment of going to school from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. at GIA with 2 small kids and running a business by myself. But I find that when I tell people this is the investment that you have to make in your future, but I have to pay for school.
Yeah.
And that's all day. That's Monday through Friday to go to school.
Yeah, word.
Can I do it online?
Who cares? You figure that out. Answer that question your damn self.
Right. You just said you want what I have. I told you how I did it. I went to school. You can't be a gemologist without going to school. You can be a 3D designer, technically, but the difference is between formally trained 3D designers and 3D designers that learn by doing online tutorials, and you can learn, that formal training teaches you a full around structured education. So I know how to use all the tools in multiple different softwares professionally and going the direct route to it. But when you learn on YouTube from these guys, as I'm watching YouTube videos now and I'm seeing guys on YouTube doing 3D, they're not going a direct route.
Yeah.
They are rigging it up and getting there one way or another. But as I'm watching it, I'm like, well, you could have just did this, this, and this and got there in 15 minutes rather than doing this, and that and getting there in 30, 45 minutes. And that's the difference between having formal education and being educated online. As I'm telling these guys, I'm like, you want me to teach you? You're going to have to put down a deposit of a minimum $5,000 and you're going to have to pay my hourly rate, which fluctuates depending on what mood I woke up in.
Let's go.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
And if you don't want to pay it, then I don't have to give it to you because I'm making bread regardless. But you're just not getting this information.
Let's go.
For free. You're not getting it.
Gumbo Grills University.
Let's go. Gumbo.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Gumbo Grills U.
Go get it. Why would I pay you such and such when I can just go on YouTube? Go to YouTube.
Check my resume.
Go do that.
If you feel like going to YouTube is better for you, then you go there.
Yeah.
You go, girl.
Yeah.
You know, I want you to fucking pat your back up. Because you've done some shit for some people. Let's not, I don't know, NDAs.
There's no NDAs. They all love Diggs.
So just give me 3.
My favorite's Chris Brown.
Why Chris Brown, bro?
Oh my God.
Yo, why you a hater?
You don't like Chris
What's
Brown?
that face for? Yo.
Yeah, I heard. All right, look. Number one, he beat Rihanna's ass. Let's keep it a buck.
Let's keep it a buck.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, defend them, dog. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm involved right now.
Uh-huh.
But I got something else he can beat. You know what I'm saying? You know?
He could beat my ass for. Listen.
So we got Chris Brown. Give me 2 more. 2 more names. Just to name drop. Just to be regular. Just simple. Like
Do it.
All right. We got Odell Beckham Jr.
Okay.
Love him and his family.
He's going to Miami. He's now.
Yes. I am now a Miami Dolphins fan.
Yeah, let's go.
100%.
Hundo.
I owe so much to him and his dad. Great times hanging out with Odell in all of his mansions. He had 3 different mansions in New Jersey. I felt like I was walking into the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air's house. That last mansion that he got, oh my God, I'm like this. I love my job.
I'd be the Jazzy Jeff that gets thrown out.
And you know what his dad tells me? He's like, Erica, you family. Come over anytime you want. And I would, even if it wasn't concerning, selling jewelry. I'm still at the house looking in the refrigerator. I walked in here. I went straight to the refrigerator because I know I'm family.
Yeah, you did.
And I'm walking in Odell's house, going straight to the refrigerator. What y'all got to eat?
Yeah.
And it was all, no one ever tried any funny business with me. It was really all love. And I just why me? I'm not worthy. Like, I ain't shit. I don't have nothing.
Your work speaks for yourself, though.
It was an amazing experience. So I'm going to say for sure. Chris Brown, I've always loved him ever since he came out. He's just so amazing and so talented as a singer, a rapper, a dancer, a tall, king, beautiful black man.
All right, calm down, man. Jesus Christ.
God, I'm getting aroused.
Come on, man.
Fuck. Jesus.
I'll be I'm black. Shut up.
And then Odell, who doesn't love Odell?
I do love
He's
Odell.
from where I'm from. He's
He's
from New
tall,
Orleans.
handsome. Oh, sorry, I fell into that trap too. Sorry.
And he's beautiful.
He catches balls really well.
Fucking it's just one-handed balls. All Diddy.
But I'm gonna tell you what they don't tell you.
All right, go. Hit me.
You hear people, and people love to talk trash about successful people,
Right.
but he is a good person. He is a really good person. He comes from a good family. His mom, his dad, his cousin. He got a couple little knucklehead friends I wanted to pop. But
We getting violent.
Odell is a really good person. I remember one time I was running late on his grills and his orders, and he wound up having to leave for the off season. Just this man is super duper busy. But I still went on ahead and shipped him out his grills. And I'm not the type of person to say, oh, hey, give me money. And I know people like him, they prefer to deal in cash. So I still shipped him out his grills. I wasn't on him, wasn't texting him or anything. But by the time the next season came and he came back, he was already ready for me. Like, I didn't ask him for the money. The next time I was in New Jersey, because I was still living in Brooklyn, I ran in and said, hey, don't I owe you money? Didn't have to. I wasn't asking for it either.
Yeah.
Pulls the money out of his backpack and I'm just like,
hey.
Oh, another amazing story. I remember one time I had to meet him and we met. They were on their way somewhere. And again, I'm running late. The patience that these guys have had with me, I got to appreciate that as well because they're very, very patient and very understanding. So they were on the way to the function. And he was like, all right, we're on our way this way, but just meet us here. And it was like either a diner or a fast food place. Like, we met in the parking lot, and I'm in a cab, and I'm waiting for him to come, and he pulls up, and it's this caravan of luxury vehicles. I'm sitting in the cab, and I'm just like, is this actually happening? He gets out the car, and he's got this Louis Vuitton backpack full of money, and the guys get out of the cars, all these luxury vehicles, and here comes out all of these big, beautiful football players. Just
all right. Continue with the story. Jesus.
He comes, he gives me love, and it's cold outside as well. We take a little quick picture, gives me the money, and I get back in the cab, and the cab driver, I don't know, cab driver was like a fresh off the boat immigrant, and he's like, "Who's these people?"
Is that like an African accent? What the fuck was that?
I don't know. I'm trying to pose for him like if I'm a big football player, because she talks in such
I just want to know where that accent goes. Who's these people? What the fuck was that?
I don't know if he was Pakistani or what.
Okay, got it. Nailed the accent.
If I told him, he would have no idea who
Right.
these people were. And I didn't even know who most of them were. But it was just the star power of all of these luxury vehicles pulling up for me. And I'm like, the struggle that I went through. So when I'm going through the split up, my ex said I wouldn't make it without him. He was, once I got out the military, he really backed me. And my initial job was doing hair and makeup right when I got out the military, but it just wasn't for me. It didn't do it. These girls are like, I want to look like Kim Kardashian. I'm like, that is not my problem. You need to talk to your mom and your dad. I can't do anything for you. You don't have those. So surgeon, you don't have those. I just didn't have the patience for it. When I decided to switch to jewelry, everyone said I wasn't going to make it, and this is the father of my children. And he didn't believe in me. My mom didn't believe in me. My mom said it was taking too long. But my mom is old school. My mom is 75 years old. She didn't graduate high school. She didn't go to college. And my dad basically took care of her. So she didn't understand what, working and investing time into something means, because she always had my dad to back her up. So she doesn't understand going to school and training and putting in years of work and then finally seeing the payoff. And that's another thing for people that come from where we come from. We don't understand investing time into your craft. Everybody wants it to happen tomorrow, an instant payoff. And even 3 months for some people is just too long. They want that money right then. We have got to get into a way where we start educating our sons and our daughters that before you have your children, before you get caught up in debt, invest in your future and get that out of the way. And I even say invest in your trade, then do your college classes. Do English, history, social sciences, all of that after you figure out your trade. And that way, while you're in school getting your core classes, you can still work and make real money.
Yeah.
Trade is important, 100%. And that's like a big motivating factor too. Like when everybody's kind of like, what are you trying to do? I think that probably added like fuel to the fire. Like, nah, I'm just regardless, I'm going to fucking destroy this shit. Because I knew what I wanted and I went to go get it. And that's amazing. And that's why you should fucking gatekeep.
Yeah.
100%. You should 100% gatekeep. Like if you want it bad enough as, we have wanted it in our respective careers, you're going to put the effort to do it.
Yeah. I think that especially right now, man, there's so, and this is what I preach in my own channel, bro. Like there's so many people that like see the end result of what you do, but don't understand like the actual like struggle that you had to go through. And like especially right now, man, we're like it's more specifically the time that this podcast is being recorded. Like there are so many content creators out there, specifically in the jewelry space, that if you see them, quite literally, their entire life is a lavish lifestyle commercial. You know what I mean? And like, that's cool if that's the way you sell it. And at the end of the day, that will sell and that will get you numbers. Yeah. And a lot of people will think that that's cool. And you'll get a lot of hate and all this stuff. And you can portray your company to be this super large company making millions of dollars. But the reality is behind the camera that it's life really isn't like that for most of us. And I think the only thing that I ever try to portray in my videos, specifically in my story on YouTube or whatever, is like, I'm just a regular dude. We're all just regular dudes, yo. Straight up. Like, and Diggs, like that story you telling us how about like you lived in the projects and motherfuckers were pulling up to your crib to buy grills and like you had to like not that, those stories, you don't see them on Instagram. All you see is like, even in your own various stories now, like you don't really talk about it. And that's why I like these types of contents that are longer format that people are going to sit here and watch about it, because this is the ugly side of jewelry. This is what really it looks like.
Yeah. You
right
only
here.
see the pretty glamour and the shiny diamonds. You never see the bullshit that you had to, you know what I'm saying? The investment that you got to do, wasting money buying gold, buying silver.
Angel,
the
how
labor
many
costs.
hours have you worked? Realistically, this is a crazy question to ask you. How many hours did you work to get 2 plaques on 2 channels? Legit. Because that's a crazy feat that most people are going to be like, how do I do that? How do I just copy paste that and then just do what he's doing?
I don't even, I don't even know, to be honest with you. You know how they say like the 10,000 hours? I'm way past that. Just think, editing sometimes minimum takes 2 hours. Just think of that. Because everybody sees the recording aspect. I turn on the camera, I record. Whether you do it with a script or without a script, I'm generally a non-scripter. So I'm freestyling, I'm recording. I'm literally making a mini movie every day. A mini movie. I'm acting, directing, narrating, editing,
Director of
stage
photography.
setting, director of photography, making sure the audio is on point. So what position is that? I forgot. So many factors go into that. So imagine one channel I have over 2,000 videos. And then in the other one, I have 900 and something videos. Let's say an average of 6 minutes, cut down to like 6 to 8 minutes.
Sure.
Do the math on over 3,000 pieces of content over 11 years.
That's insane.
Okay,
bro.
so we're talking, that's just hours. So we're not talking about camera equipment, old cameras to new cameras, SD cards, editing software, supplies to make the videos. Imagine in a jewelry space trying to launch content. How much money has to be invested before anybody lends you anything, sells you anything, you get a discount. How much discount can you fucking get on a piece, right? Like discount, jewelry, lending, building relationships, getting insurance to back these lending pieces because you think somebody's going to lend you a chain and you're like, oh yeah, whatever. Like there's liability, there's trust, there's respect, there's reputation. All that shit takes mad time.
Yeah.
Integrity, all that is built. Like,
Yeah.
imagine that.
Yeah. And the crazy part is that someone would want to like just ask you for an interview and just like funnel all that traffic just because of your name for the free. Like, oh, you want to do a collab real quick? And oh yeah, and I'm just gonna we could both shout each other out.
No, I don't listen. At this point, and I tell people
crazy?
all day, like when I do a video and it's a sponsored video, I do 2 things generally. I mention in the video, I always put in the description of the video. So you have 2 points of me telling you from the initial, this is sponsored by ABC or whatever. Why? I'm a person who believes on ethics. I stand on my shit and I have a problem with authority. What does that mean? You can't dictate to me how I'm going to make my content because I've done the 9-to-5 job. I've had the corporate, I've had all that shit. I've always had a problem with authority. I don't like being told what to do, especially in a space that's something I'm so passionate about. So once everybody's on that same page, I got to get a piece too, 100%. Yeah. Because a free chain, that I don't get free jewelry like that, but a free chain or a discounted chain, that's expenditure. That's not going to pay my mortgage. That's not going to pay for my kid's school. Exactly. That's not going to pay for the rent, the water, the light bill, everything. That doesn't cover anything. Yeah. A YouTube check ain't crazy at all. Let's be clear. I live in New York, New Jersey, tri-state area. Yeah. We're not living in southern Alabama. Fam, you know what I'm saying? With a $1,500 rent or some bullshit like that. Yeah. But the fact of the matter is that also perspectives that people don't see that I mentioned to some people, and sometimes you got to bring them down to reality, is that an opportunity like mine with 11 years in the space, in the marketing influencer space or whatever the case may be, I can make dudes, small businesses into millionaires, but I'm not a billionaire.
Yeah.
That doesn't funnel down to me. So I should just, let's be clear. I'm happy that I'm able to do that for somebody, but what about me?
What do I get?
What do I
What
get
about
out
me?
of it?
Yeah.
Like now you're in a Lambo or in a Ferrari or you have a 3-story store. I'm still in the studio. I'm in the basement. I'm like, what's the next video?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Damn, can I get another $1,500 to buy a chain to review it? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit doesn't trickle down to me, but then I'm like wrong for trying to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit is crazy. Like, it goes with the gatekeeping. Like, you spend $100,000 in education, but Susie hits you up because you're an inspired black woman and I want to be just like you. Can you give me all these tips and trips and all right, cool. I want to help my sisters out, but who paid for my tuition? Like,
Who's gonna help me out?
What? Me helping you is gonna take time away from my kids, from my spouse, from my daily grind. Something that took me X amount of years to build, hundreds of thousands of dollars in education, but I'm gonna hand it over to you because you my sister and I'm helping out.
And just like he said, even when you do give them all this
They don't follow it.
they will not.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy like type of the jewelry space in general is just it's a crazy world. But I think that right now, like I said, we're in that pivotal moment where the information is free and it's given to everybody. But it's like, what are you gonna do with it? Even if I do give it to you, but probably nothing. Let's keep it real, dog. I get asked all the time, but like also I get asked very specific questions that are the secret sauce on how I did it. You know what I mean? Like, and yeah, like I had this conversation I was in Norway like 2 months ago for vacation, and
Small
I met
flex.
out there. Yeah, what?
Small flex.
No, not a small flex at all.
Norway.
But yeah, I went to Norway out there for like 2.5 weeks, and I went out there and I met up with one of like what I consider a good friend now in the jewelry space. His name is Marv. That's my guy, bro. Like that's my guy. Like he's gonna come move to Miami, bro. He is the coolest.
That's sorry to cut you off, but that's the definition of somebody that I've seen from the fucking start.
Yeah.
Crash and burn.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Bro, and he's the
And
humblest.
so humble.
Coolest,
such a fucking humble dude.
Dog, you can have a conversation with him. If you come to Miami and he's in Miami, hopefully, fingers crossed, he can somehow make it to Miami. You'll meet him, Diggs. He is dopest dude, right? Dopest dude. However, we and him did a podcast together, and he was talking about how like the way he had to learn how to make Cuban links, and he does them almost identical to how I do them. But to get to the same math formula, we had to do all these math problems of like, this is not, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. And then we finally got to like the secret sauce, like, all right, we got it. This is it. And so people will ask us, and we did this podcast, and people were asking us like, yo, like, why do you guys gatekeep? Because we talked about something very similar, but when it came to specific secrets about what we do with the Cuban link chain. And we were like, bro, because we literally destroyed metals that cost thousands of dollars just to get it right. And so I'm going to give you that math equation now that I give the guys who work like at the shop. This is the way we do this. And this is now like how it comes out. I'm just going to give that to you. Like, that's just crazy, insane. But we got torched because we were like, oh, you guys are gatekeeping. Like, that's why you guys are scumbags. Like,
Give away a lot already.
it's insane, bro. It's insane. So like, I think that we are in this crazy world where we're like, as much as this YouTube stuff is fun, and we are our content creators right here sitting down in front of each other, there is an ugly side to content creating. And as much as we say like, oh, it doesn't matter or whatever, like it affects us all. It really does. Like,
But you give so much away. Like, you watch your channel, you show them diamond setting, you show them ins and outs of making Cuban links. And even with me watching, like, you're giving away a lot
For
of
free.
information. Yeah.
They're not paying you. They don't pay to watch the content.
hell no.
It's free.
Yeah, it is
It's free. You're watching free content on my $12,000 worth of camera equipment.
Yeah. In HD, 4K.
In HD,
Sometimes
4K,
slow-mo.
1080. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With B-roll, editing, slow-mo, fucking background lighting.
Yeah.
You're building entire sets for you to have a dope viewing experience. Like, people don't understand. We're building a set for you to have a dope visual experience. You know how wild that is? How that doesn't make sense to the common Joe? Like, you're building an entire movie set for you to have a dope experience. That's why there's content creators and there's people who make YouTube videos. There's two different types of people. There's some people who turn on the phone, hang it up, let me record content for the sake of recording content, and hopefully this translates to some people, and sometimes it does. And then there's a creator, somebody who does B-roll, aerial drone shots, background with lighting. You have ambience, you have dimension, you have bokeh blurriness, you have all this depth, all these factors. That's a creator. My audio is off. Let me fix my audio. This boom is too short. This lav mic is too close. Like, these are things that people don't see, because all you're seeing is that 8, 10, 15, 20-minute video on your screen for free $99.
Yeah, I'm the first one you mentioned. What was the first one?
What did I say?
What did you say?
Is something or a content creator?
Oh yeah.
YouTube, like
you make videos, or you're.
I make videos.
But here's the thing. But it'd be the same thing to, like, are you a jeweler or are you an actual jeweler?
That part.
You know what I'm saying? Like I set diamonds. I can make things, and here's the crazy part about me. Like, I know jewelers for real. I think we've had this conversation before. I know jewelers. We know jewelers. Like, for real guys. These ain't for fake guys. These are the guys in the back that don't talk to you because they got a little thing right here, you know what I'm saying? Like, with the magnification, hands dirty. They know people's skills. Don't give a shit.
Hands never clean.
Never clean. I don't understand how their hands are always dirty. It's 9 a.m. in the morning. Your hands are dirty.
Never washed.
Never. Don't care.
They blow black smoke out the
Literally, dog. They don't have people skills. Real jewelers. You just give them something, you hand it on the desk, and they'll make it out of scratch. They'll cast it. They'll know what metal to cast it in. They'll know the little tricks. If something goes wrong, they'll know how to fix it. For real jewelers. And then there's, like, people like you who are even higher, who have some sort of, like, I wouldn't say higher, but I'm saying, like, they have more real experience. They've been educated, know how to do all that. I am trained by the eye, is what I call myself. I could set diamonds. I could pave set. I can make chains. That's how I learned how to do this shit. I don't even consider myself a jeweler. I don't say that. In fact, most of the time I say, like, I only put that in the title, and Ben hates it, the editor, because it's, we're talking about that. I literally don't put it into anything that I do, because I know people who actually do it for real. And whatever I'm doing is not an actual real thing.
No,
I'm faking the funk.
I'm going to disagree with you, because let's take a picture of general medicine, right? Being a doctor. You can be a general medicine doctor, or you can go a little bit further and you can become a heart surgeon. You can be a plastic surgeon, a podiatrist.
Sure.
When it comes to jewelry, you are a Cuban link specialist. None of us can do what you do the way you do it, and you can break it down. If I say I need a 10 karat rose gold kilo Cuban link, you're already going to be like, listen. Or if I say I want a 10 karat yellow gold Cuban link, it's going to be a different conversation for you on either one of those alloys. Even for me, I still don't completely understand how these metals work. So I'm not going to say, you can't sit here and say, just because you didn't go to GIA, that you're not a jeweler. You were formally trained, but in different ways. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And what you do there's not a school that you're going to enlist in that's going to teach you how to make Cuban link chains. Yeah. I don't want to buy a Cuban link chain made in New York. I don't want to buy a Cuban link chain made by someone that's not Cuban. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So you are...
at least from Miami.
Yes. Yeah. You are a specialist and you are a jeweler. You may not specialize in diamonds, but you for sure can kick ass with
Yeah.
one eye open, making some freaking Cubans.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I first off, I appreciate it, but
Metal
yeah,
specialist.
well, yeah, I mean, I think that for sure. But what I guess what I'm referring to more so is like the people out there who don't necessarily like everybody, bro. You should see it in Miami. It's ridiculous. Most people out there are talking about like, oh, I'm Gus the jeweler, or I'm like this the jeweler. And like whatever, and like you just sell
That
kind of
jeweler
sort.
title.
Oh,
That jeweler
it's
title
so
is
cringe.
It's annoying.
Bro.
It's insane.
It's so cringe.
The
And
jeweler
so-
title has always been
and
something
so
that
the
always
time,
like.
yeah, the time that I literally feel that like I said, because I know what a real jeweler is, and because I know what it actually feels like to be in the jewelry business, to know real jewelry is why I say at the end of the day, I'm a jewelry salesman. I can grade a diamond. I've graded hundreds and thousands of stones in my life. I know how to grade a diamond, and I will grade it. Maybe it won't be GIA, but like I'll grade it damn near like fucking like that shit's right there. If I have to grade it, I can make a chain, but that doesn't make me a fucking jeweler. Because like I said, every time I use that word, I feel like and I've told you this, Angel, many times. I feel like I disrespect the people who I know who are actual jewelers. They're real jewelers. I'm a for fake jeweler. And so what I say when people ask me what do you do is I own a jewelry business. I'm a jewelry business salesperson because that's what I do. But if you tell me, like I have people that I know who I could sit there and be like, I'm going to give you, make, this is a piece of platinum, like a piece of platinum like that. I'll give you a piece of platinum. I got these stones up. Make me a 3-spoke ring.
And again, I'm going to disagree with you again because you say a jewelry salesman. If you go into these jewelry stores and you pull those jewelry salesmen out and you put them in a workshop and you put you in that same workshop, what you all come out with, that salesman is going to come out with nothing.
Yeah.
And you're going to come out with a bunch of everything.
Yeah.
You can probably take 2 grams of gold and make something fire out of it yourself. A jewelry salesman cannot do that, but a jewelry salesman can make those sales.
Yeah.
So you're definitely more than a jewelry salesman.
I did a video years ago, kind of mentioning like all these jewelers that give themselves the John the Jeweler title, but I've never sat on a bench. I'm like, you're not a jeweler, fam. Like, respectfully. And I'm saying
That's where
that
I'm getting
because
at, yeah.
if you call yourself John the Jeweler and you've never sat on a bench and you've done shit like polish or whatever, that still doesn't make you a jeweler. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of these celebrity jewelers that are not jewelers, fam. You're a designer.
That's what I love about Johnny Dang, bro. Like, Johnny Dang knows how
He's
to
a
make
jeweler.
grills, dog.
He knows.
That boy
He's a
knows.
jeweler.
He knows how to do it, dude. And
100%.
there's some people out there, like I said, that are like, you know, if you say that you're like, the thing that I'm most proud of outside of like just having a business that's somewhat recognized on the internet is saying that like I can genuinely tell you, and this is why I love Marv too, like we can make a fire Cuban link chain. I can make it. I don't need anybody here, dog. Give me the tools, give me my shop, and give me 4 hours, and I'm gonna make you a fire chain myself. I'm gonna make it for you. And sometimes I do gotta step out of retirement and be like, yo, dog, there's somebody complaining and like, oh, you know, like this particular piece didn't come out the way it was supposed to. And I get it. It's my staff. It's the staff that works for GVJ. And like, you know, as much as you put some sort of structures, we're human, bro. Like one day, maybe one person didn't roll up something. We're just like, oh, like it is what it is.
Yeah.
So sometimes I got to come on and be like, you know what, dog? You could say that you have a chain made by me. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to make it for you. And I'll go out there and I'll like stop what I'm doing. I'll go in there and I'll make the fucking chain. I'll make the lock. I'll do whatever it is to do. So I could do that to a certain extent. But also, like I said, it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's because I have so much respect for the people that, number one, went to school. Number two, are badass actual jewelers that can do like some incredible stuff, that I don't disrespect the craft by calling myself something that I feel that I'm not there yet. Maybe in 20, 30 years, when I'm on some crazy shit, maybe I'll be like, oh, now I'm Gus the jeweler or whatever. I'll never call myself that ever in my life. But outside of that, like I won't, like if they ask me, you know, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm a jeweler. But I don't even, when people ask me like, oh, what do you do? Like, oh, I own a jewelry business. I don't ever actually tell them that because, like I said, there has to be some sort of respect for that. There has to be. You have to know that there are some people out there that are for real. And I know those for real guys. And I'm not one of them. And that's all.
When I got the opportunity to go see Cuban links being made by hand, when I got to actually record that and see the process, I was like, no. I go, bro, this is a lot. Like, this is crazy.
And you want to know some craziness? In the world of Cuban link, or in the world of jewelry, and anybody who does Cuban links for real will even tell you that. In the world of chain making, because there's jewelers and then there's chain makers. Yeah. Real jewelers don't even consider chain makers for real. Right. It's like when I do pottery on the outside, but like artists don't consider people who do pottery like real artists. They're like, that's not like fine arts is painting, drawing, whatever. So in jewelry world, chain makers are chain makers. They're not even actual jewelers. And even in the art of jewelry making, even in the art of chain making, Miami Cuban links specifically isn't even a respected thing. Like, if you really think about it,
because it's not as complex as some of the other chains.
1000%.
There's some chains that are wild.
Yeah, chino links,
that is
rope
insanity.
chains. Like, that's really hard to do and a lot more labor intensive than an actual Cuban.
Super difficult.
Yeah.
You actually do pottery?
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't know he was.
I'm out here, girl. Yeah, we'll play Unchained Melody here. Yeah, I'm out here.
I look at you differently now.
Yeah, I'm a Renaissance man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Renaissance.
Yeah. Renaissance D's, my brother.
That's fine.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to respect the craft, bro. You have to respect what actually people do. And so, like I said, Diggs, outside of you being trained is why I always like tell you, like, you went to school to be a gemologist. You're not just like telling me this is a VVS1 or VS1. Mm-hmm. You're not just telling me this is a topaz. Like, you've seen them. Mm-hmm. You graded them before. You know what I mean? Like, that's a whole nother monster. And that goes to show how much people, either you put in the work to get it or you don't. And I, unfortunately, I don't have the attention span, I don't think, to like go sit there and like go to school. I don't have that. And so the way I had to learn was just sit there and eat a dick and get shafted by so many hundreds of people. You know how it is. You pay $10,000 for a stone and they're like, Papa, that's worth $4,000 at best, my brother. You know what I mean? And that's how you learn. The school of overpaying is what I call it, bro.
Let's get down to, I want to get to the nitty gritty though.
Let's do it.
I want to get dirty.
Let's do it.
With Diggs, I want to get dirty.
Let's do it.
I'm married.
I'm dirty, Diggs. Miss Diggs, it's nasty.
Diggs, in my world,
I'm
gonna bring her into the fuckery world.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Diggs, I want your thoughts.
Yes.
GIA certified in everything stone related. Mm-hmm. Thoughts on natural, lab, moissanite. Simplistic form, you don't gotta go in depth.
Mm-hmm.
My honest opinion.
I only want honest opinions. Mm-hmm. So what do you think about, because right now there is a craze, you're welcome America, in lab stones and CVDs, HPACs, all this spiel, and then there's a little bit of a moissanite community down here as well. What are your thoughts as being GIA? Your thoughts?
Okay, so the GIA certification means that I literally looked at thousands of stones, and I had to sit there and look, and the repetitiveness of looking at these stones in the microscope, I learned how to identify the stones by looking at them in the microscope. Now, beyond that, after I got my GIA certification as a gemologist, then I became a diamond setter. And that's really what gave me my proficiency in seeing stones, because after I graduated GIA, I'm like, okay, but I don't know if I'm going to be good at this in the trade, because the majority of the stones that we looked at were bigger stones. Mm-hmm. We didn't see any mellies. We didn't see any 1.3 millimeter stones. We won't see any 1
Describe mellies for just regular people.
A mellie is a stone that's smaller than 3 millimeters. Anything smaller than 3 millimeter stone is considered a mellie. We didn't get mellies in GIA. Maybe we got a 5 millimeter stone or whatever. It's the smallest, but anything under 3, we didn't get it. So I'm like, okay, I personally work with mostly pave stones and mellies. How the fuck am I going to be able to tell? But as I started setting diamonds, I'm seeing it without even trying. It's just the stone after stone after stone after stone and looking in the microscope, now I can see. So I'm going to divide this into 4 sections. We're going to have natural stones. We're going to have CBD. We're going to have HPHT, and we're going to have moissanite. And I put them in order of value. Natural stones cost the most, hands down. Natural stones have resale value, as long as they're not a melly. Mm-hmm. But even with them being melly, as a retail customer, you purchasing natural stones, you still have no real resale value. Mm-hmm. So if you purchase a $10,000 natural stone, you're going to be lucky to get maybe $2,000 or $3,000 out of it. Say you get a divorce and you want to upgrade, it does nothing for us for you to give you what that stone is worth, because we have to turn around and then resell it to someone else for what it's worth. So we're going to buy it from you for a fraction of the actual value and then try and sell it to someone else for retail value. So as a consumer, just period, don't buy diamonds as an investment, because you're not investing in money, you're throwing money away. You buy diamonds because you want them and you want to shine like me, okay? These are not an investment. This is a statement. That's it.
Oh, I like that.
So,
not an investment, a statement.
Absolutely.
I do like that. I like that. I like that.
I like that a lot. That's
natural diamonds is more so mental, because you want them to be natural diamonds. Now here we're going to the lab grown diamonds. I'm going to tell you, like my teacher told me at GIA. What is the difference between a lab grown diamond and a natural diamond? A natural diamond, you can compare it to ice, because I call my diamonds ice, okay? You can get ice a couple of different ways. You can get ice that comes naturally in the form of snow, in the form of like glaciers. When you go to a cold climate, you get ice naturally. The water freezes and become ice. Or you can say, as a man, I want ice, and you can take that water and put it in the freezer and freeze it. That is the difference between natural ice and man-made ice. And it's the same thing when it comes to diamonds. You can get those diamonds that's created with carbon, heat, and pressure in the core of the earth. Or you can take those same elements and put them in a laboratory and recreate those same elements. You're going to get the same exact product, but one was made in a laboratory, just like the ice was made in the freezer, and one was made in the earth, just like you get the glaciers in Alaska, naturally by God, and synthetic by man. But it still comes out to be the same product. It looks exactly the same. You're going to get better color and clarity and a better price with lab grown, but absolutely no resale value. And maybe the bigger diamonds, the really big diamonds, will have a tad bit of resale value, but not like natural diamonds. Natural diamonds do hold a better resale value. Either or, you're still not getting a decent resale value. It's not an investment. But Mellies, natural, and Mellies, lab grown, have zero resale value. Because most of the times when you try and take them out of pieces, they break. Yeah. Things happen. So if it's Mellies, whether it's natural or synthetic, you have zero retail value whatsoever. So it just depends on your mental of how you feel about them. Hey, dog, I'm only doing natural diamonds. I want to spend $1,500 a carat. Or you say, I'm doing lab diamonds and I want to spend $700 a carat. It's on you, whatever you want to spend. Here we go. I love both. They're both beautiful. Natural diamonds, no African kids were killed or enslaved during the process. Natural diamonds, even though we have the Kimberley process that has been put into place worldwide, not been.
Come on,
exactly.
Man.
It hasn't been adhered to. So the chances of someone being enslaved, killed with natural diamonds, the probability is extremely high. You should look up some of those movies. The movie called Blood Diamond. Yes. Look up that movie and you'll get more clarity on what happened with natural diamonds. So you can sleep better at night knowing that no one lost their life over your lab diamond.
What do you think about Moissanite?
I personally don't like Moissanite, and I'm going to tell you why.
Why?
Well, I saw a Moissanite chain recently, and it's beautiful, but it's less than 3 months old. In my experience as a diamond setter with Moissanite, when you initially get Moissanite, they do look good. They still never shine exactly like a diamond. A Moissanite sparkles really pretty. It scintillates and it gives off lights and colors. But a diamond, it screams. A diamond is giving off hard thumps, flashes of light. Like it's a very distinct flash that a diamond has. You cannot, you know, you can't take another gemstone and replicate that hard light, that adamantine luster, the reflection of the light off of a diamond and the reflection off a light of a Moissanite has a sub-adamantine luster, which is slightly lower than a diamond, but a trained eye can see the difference with the luster. And also the many diamonds do give off colors. But
yeah, you got to put that to bed.
I was going to ask
diamonds do give off color. I don't know why people are saying that like it's only white light. Absolutely not.
So for me as a non-jeweler, just an enthusiast, the main perspective that I was looking up is that the kaleidoscope effect of a Moissanite versus a diamond.
Right. Diamonds give off colors. And especially it's whatever colors are in the room, if more colors around, more colors in the room, depending on what it's set in, it's going to give off more or less colors. Yeah. But it still gives off colors. You're going to see those blues, reds, blues, yellow, whatever. But the Moissanites give off harder colors and more of, so more you say colors. Right, more fruity pebbles coming from Moissanites where it's actually noticeable once you've learned it. Yeah.
But can the common person tell the difference between a Moissanite and a diamond?
No.
Or a slightly educated person, do you think they can tell the difference?
People that have experience. Right. So these athletes and rappers that have tons of diamond jewelry, they can notice something ain't right. They may not know what's not right about it. Something ain't right. The term that I've heard, it ain't hitting. It ain't hitting like it's supposed to. Okay. They know something. Not only that, if you have Moissanite jewelry on and your homeboy has on diamonds, you by yourself, we may not catch the fact that it's Moissanite, but when you stand next to someone with the same ensemble on that has diamonds, this guy is going to be screaming it and you're going to be singing. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? You're going to be twinkling. Yeah. But the thing with the Moissanites are, because diamonds are a 10 on the mole scale and the Moissanites are a 9.5, sometimes a 9, you know, on the mole scale, 9.25 on the mole scale, they scratch. Yeah. So just like CZ, initially when you get the Moissanite, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to shine. After about a few months of wear and tear, it ain't shining. And you're going to polish it and you're going to polish it. And these are the Moissanites. That's why I hate when people are getting these bust down Moissanite watches and these big Moissanite pendants. And they're spending like $3,000 or even more on these pieces flooded with Moissanite. You take extra special care of them and they can last longer. But especially with a ring, it's a lot of trauma on rings. So it will scratch. And then once you look in the microscope, and I have some specimens that I looked at under the microscope, the scratches are real. The facets are braided. There's scratches all over. And there's absolutely nothing you can do besides send them to get recut. Yeah. But you shouldn't just invest in diamonds. And that primarily, once I learned that, because, you know, Moissanites are fairly new coming into the market. And a lot of people, they sell them, but they don't see the after effects of what happens after the wear and tear. And I did an experiment. I ordered these Moissanites from China, and I'm like, these are really beautiful stones, and I do not want to, they were emerald cut. I do not want to spend the money for this ring and buy diamond emerald cuts. Let me check and see how much, see how these Moissanites work. The ring came out really pretty, but even initially when the ring was first made, it was just something that always bothered me about the ring because it wasn't hitting like it should have been. Well, yeah, whatever. And I had the ring, I wore it, and it was a beautiful design on the ring. So it still was a great showpiece. For photography, you're not going to be able to see how the light hits. So for photography, as a sample piece in your showcase, great. But I was wearing it. It was a pinky ring, and I was wearing it. And then it just didn't shine no more.
Yeah.
I looked at it under the microscope. I said, well, ain't this a motherfucker?
So would you say, it's very interesting and great points that you brought up from a diamond setter and a gemologist's perspective. Now, you did say about, since it's not as hard as a diamond on the Mohs scale and the ability of it scratching and damaging and losing its luster, would you say that there's moissanites would be better suited for pieces that don't come in contact with that kind of friction, whether it be just a chain with no pendant on it, no rings because of you're always constantly moving around or something like that? Would that make more sense, and that would have longer durability because it won't be as damaged or tarnished, or it will eventually just get scratched in time?
Watches,
regardless.
Anything on the hands is going to get abused. So I'm going to say don't do it for the watches. And it really bugs the shit out of me when I see people busting down watches with moissanite. Because I'm like, you're still spending a grip of money doing this.
And you see that?
And you're,
And like expensive watches you've seen people doing
this
moissanite?
all over Instagram.
Oh, no shit.
It's all over Instagram. And these jewelry salesmen, they're making a killing off of it. But the problem is you're making that quick buck off of selling a sub-prime product. You're going to have to deal with what happens down the line when that product is no longer hitting like it should be. Now you're going to have a flood of unhappy customers. But maybe they may never know. They may never realize it.
Or care. Because of the money that they spend.
Right, but still, like, $5,000-$7,000 is a lot of money to everyone.
Yeah.
These guys are taking the money from their checks and they're putting $500,000 aside, and paying for these watches is not easy money. If they had the money, they would just get the real thing, So that's one thing about it. What I would say, if you're gonna do moissanite, don't do a ring. And it's a whole lot of people doing wedding rings and moissanite. Big mistake, because it's going to get abraded. Do earrings, do a chain, something that's not going to get abused, and even a chain with a pendant, it still doesn't have as much abuse as what we do with our hands.
I want to see how, so this chain, for example, is 14 karat with moissanite. The pendant is natural diamonds and gold. So I want to see long-term what you're saying about that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I see. It was your chain I was talking about. I just didn't want to put you on blast.
No, put me on blast. 100%. I put myself on blast with it.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, so that's a great example, and I'm going to take a look at that because I have several pieces of moissanite. I have a lot, a decent amount of jewelry, but I don't wear them on a consistent basis. Like,
you have a microscope?
It's just crazy.
A loop?
Yeah. I have a loop and microscope.
Pay attention to this section right
where
here,
where your pendants are. Yes.
And see, is it getting 100%? Scratched?
Yeah. I would love to see that.
Yeah,
I was before and after.
I was talking to someone today, and they were talking about that specific thing, like how it gets when you're most of the time also you're talking about like smaller stones, but people think that like, okay, well, if the Mohs scale says it's 9.5, then it's fine. But like sometimes it doesn't get to 9.5. That's number one. But number two, like these stones are very small. I could chip a diamond. People think that this diamond is like, because they say this is the hardest material on earth. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, let me tell you something, dog. Put some pressure on a diamond when you're setting it, and you'll chip that fast. It's so fucking fast, bro. It just go pop right off. And this is with your hand. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, they can get chipped. But I also think that like as an alternative outside of just it being a much cheaper option, it also looks cool when you first get it. And if you are going to spend $15,000 on a natural diamond or even a CVD diamond and spend $10,000 on a CVD pendant, you can get that same pendant for $3,500, $4,500. If you take care of your shit, you can get something that looks just as fire without having to spend so much bread. And at the same time, like, it looks just as good. What I want people to really understand is that at the end of the day, it's your bread. You spend it however you want. Do what's smart with the money. You know what I mean? Like those earrings, as an example, Diggs, not to put you on the spot, but those earrings, if they were natural diamonds, you're talking about quarter carat. I don't know if they are or not. You could tell us or not. It don't. Yeah, like that's crazy. Like that, you're talking about stupid money if that's natural diamonds. Yeah. Stupid money. Now, Diggs, you may be able to afford it, but I'm talking about the regular cat ain't gonna sit there and spend that kind of crazy bread. They're just not. And so if you could do that with Moissanite and spend $300 on those earrings.
But it also goes into play with a lot of the great information that she gave.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, buying these natural diamonds, just know you're going to get hit over the head.
Yeah.
Buying lab diamonds, you're just throwing the bread away. So Moissanite falls into that same space. So it's kind of like I tell people, yo, act your wage.
Yeah.
Don't get crazy.
Right.
Don't
Don't try and be like me, okay?
Yeah, like
I'm not paying full price for this.
Yeah, and you're building the shit.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's an investment. So I can always bust this shit down. I've paid a fraction of the price and sell it to you for retail price. I'm never losing money.
That's 1,000%. You're building it. For me, it's all facets. I'm not wearing this shit as a daily, so I'm gonna get a lot less abuse than the average person.
1,000.
You know what I'm saying? And I enjoy Moissanite. I think Moissanite is super cool. I think it's affordable for the person who's the Instagram flasher, the people who are casually wearing it to the club and not wearing it as a daily. I think it's cost effective for those who, are in the space of, I don't want to, blood diamonds or feel any type of way environmentally or whatever the case may be. It's a great alternative. Currently, I've been more on the lab diamond tip, particularly on colored stones. I love a colored stone. When it comes to the jewelry space, one of the things that make me enthusiastic is artistic style pieces or very different, funky pieces that are like catching my attention. Because everybody got a bust down Cuban, everybody got a tennis chain, everybody got all this bullshit. I'm one of those people, right? But when you get something colored, like a beautiful CVD that's a crazy canary or a blood red or a beautiful vivid pink or this emerald green, like, fuck, imagine a beautiful piece being put together that's affordable for the most part, but just like, this is a diamond. Granted, it's a lab-made diamond, but an in vitro baby doesn't make it less of a baby because he's an in vitro baby.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much beauty in these pieces, and you can save a significant amount of money making these pieces. Just act your wage.
Right. I tell my clients all the time, all gemstones are beautiful. It just depends on what you want.
Yeah.
You figure out what you want, and then you learn how to care for it. Yeah. So even if it's a CZ, it's still a gemstone. If it's a sapphire, if it's a topaz, we have made these stigmas in the world of jewelry where people look down on cubic zirconia, but it's like the same person that looks down on cubic zirconia may value a topaz because it's what they've been kind of ingrained with. They don't really know that these are all beautiful gemstones.
Swarovski's crystal's beautiful.
Absolutely gorgeous. Swarovski all over me, even in my hair. These are all, we studied the Swarovski crystals in GIA. These are all beautiful gemstones. It just depends on what you like and what you're doing and how much you want to spend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like discriminating against gemstones.
Yeah, hell no.
Don't prefer moissanites, but still,
you like what you like and you don't like what you. I mean, it is what it is, but it's also not in the space of content creation and the jewelry space that I am with different financial backgrounds, different age groups, etc., etc. I can't expect a teenage kid that wants to have that Instagram lifestyle, that TikTok lifestyle, and have that flash and factor to spend $25,000 or go into debt or take out a credit card loan to buy this kind of bust down piece because they want to keep down with the Joneses. That shit is crazy.
Right, but you just said it. The gemstone shaming really comes from the jewelry industry because we're going to make more money selling that natural stone than a degraded stone or a less expensive. I would rather sell you 20 carats of diamonds that I'm going to make, that I'm going to sell for $1,500 a carat, rather than sell you 20 carats of diamonds that I'm going to sell for $700. I'm getting a much bigger profit. So these jewelry professionals and salesmen that are selling are going to discourage you by any means necessary from buying anything lab made because it decreases the profit significantly.
Yeah, crazy.
That's a great point.
Well, guys, we could talk diamonds and talk gemstones forever, pretty much. And I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Again, super impromptu, super kind of run and gun the way we did this. We're in an Airbnb. We're talking diamonds. I hope you guys enjoyed this type of content. I hope you guys liked it. Diggs, thank you for coming. Angel, go fuck yourself. And we'll catch you guys in the next.
Can we give Diggs, please plug your social medias, everything?
Plug what you got to.
Plug my social media. Diggs and Co on everything. DIGGSANDCO.
Oh, you spelled it. Let's go.
Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, and OnlyFans.
Oh,
follow me on OnlyFans. That's where the real heat. Yes.
Oh,
she diamond sets only in her OnlyFans.
She diamond
Yes.
sets only.
Let's go.
A diamond set.
And she sets diamonds. You know what I'm saying? Shit.
All right, guys. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Dale.